be here, especially for the general practitioners empowerment meeting. Actually, we are conducting this program. The purpose of this, our state president action plan is to ensure and empower the general practitioners, including pediatricians who are doing general practice like me. Actually, we have to discuss the knowledge of pediatrics to the public with the help of general practitioners. That is the main idea of this program. And fortunately, the branch has also conducted this same program to our general practitioners. And now and we got an excellent speaker, Dr. M.K. Sandosh. And the topic is also very important because now government is introduced the PCV vaccine in our government sector. It was there in the private sector already. And there's a lot of confusion regarding the PCV 10, 14, 23, 7 like that. And to clarify which is better. And Dr. Sandosh M.K. will be speaking to us. It will be useful for everybody. And thank you once again. Thank you very much for inviting me for this program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Dr. Ashraf TP, Professor of Pediatrics and Government Medical College Kozhikode and past president of IAP Kozhikode for taking over and moderating the session.
Thank you, Dr. Ajay. Dr. Mohandas, President of IAP Kozhikode. Speaker of the day, guest of the day, Dr. Sandosh, Dr. Bennett Sailam, respected teachers, and my dear. Even though I told the guest of the day or the speaker as guest of the day, Dr. Sandosh is not a guest to Calicut IAP. Every IAP in Calicut or Calicut IAP considering him as a part of Calicut IAP. The entire Kerala, the entire IAPians of Kerala has witnessed his dynamism as well as the leadership qualities during 2019 as a state president of Indian Academy of Pediatrics. We all know the pivot programs and several programs, including revamping BFHI, immunization, pain and palliative, lot of activities across the Kerala. And he is running across the branches. Meanwhile, he visited physically, that is a pre-COVID era, several times in Calicut, including that our Respicon, 2 days Respicon, he was with us. So he's a part of Calicut IAP, not a guest to us. And moreover, he was a state president of National Neonatology Forum, National Executive Board member of the IAP 2 or 3 times. And besides medical qualification, he's having a MBA. He's having a MBA in the business administration. And moreover, he's a nice person. He's an excellent human being because he's keeping a smile always, even during the period of stress. പലപ്പോഴും നമുക്കൊക്കെ സ്ട്രെസ് വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മുടെ മുഖത്ത് അത് വായിച്ചറിയാം. പക്ഷെ സന്തോഷ് സാറ് എപ്പോഴും ഒരു മന്ദഹാസം ആ ചുണ്ടുകൾക്കിടയിൽ ഒളിപ്പിച്ചു വെക്കാറുണ്ട്. ദാറ്റ്സ് എ ഗ്രേറ്റ് ക്വാളിറ്റി. പലപ്പോഴും നമ്മൾ അക്വയർ ചെയ്യേണ്ടതാണ് അല്ലെ. സ്ട്രെസ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലും അത് കാണിക്കാതിരിക്കുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഒരു ഏറ്റവും സൂപ്പർലേറ്റീവായ ഒരു ക്വാളിറ്റി. സോ നമുക്ക് സന്തോഷ് അത് എപ്പോഴും കാണാം. വിത്ത് ദീസ് വേർഡ്സ് on behalf of IAP Kozhikode and on my personal behalf, with a lot of love and regards, I invite Dr. Sandosh to talk on one of a topic of current importance, that is PCV 10 vaccine. What is new? We all are eagerly waiting to hear from Dr. Sandosh. Over to you.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, my sincere thanks to the nice words showered on me. I don't know whether all these things belongs to me or I deserve it. Anyway, thank you very much, Dr. Ashraf. Respected Chairperson, Calicut President, Dr. Mohandas Nair, Secretary Ajay, Treasurer, and especially Dr. Bennett Sailam, and the Subspecialty Chapter Chairman, and my seniors, teachers, and my dear friends. Today's topic is pneumococcal 10-valent vaccine, the new pneumococcal 10-valent vaccine. Is it okay now?
Okay, it is okay.
Yes, sir.
Pneumococcus has 97 serotypes. We all know. 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. So, the prevalence of pneumococcal disease in India, we will start. I will take a few minutes for a brief introduction. Over 1.2 million children die before their 5th birthday in India every year. Nearly 15.9% of the deaths are due to pneumonia, pneumococcal pneumonia. There was a study in 2015. Streptococcus pneumonia is estimated to cause around 1.6 million cases of severe pneumococcal disease, including severe pneumonia and meningitis, and nearly 68,700 deaths in 1 to 59 months old children. This is the epidemiology now. Only 13% of the children with suspected pneumonia receive potentially life-saving treatment in India. All others are being diagnosed very late or undiagnosed, or even they are hospitalized. The case fatality rate for meningitis, that is invasive pneumococcal disease, pneumococcal meningitis, ranges from 9% to 31%. Moreover, there is widespread resistance to Reaxone, cefotaxime, cotrimoxazole, etc. And regarding the bacteremia in pneumococcal infections, invasive pneumococcal disease severity is proportional to the number of organisms and the integrity of defense. Usually, the number of bacteria in the CSF and bloodstream is very huge compared to other bacterial infections. That is why invasive pneumococcal disease is very dangerous in children. These are gram-positive diplococci, lancet shaped, of course. So far, they have described 97 serotypes, type-specific, depending on the type-specific capsular polysaccharide. More than 90% of the children harbor it in their nasopharynx sometime during their life from 6 months to is colonization or pneumococcal disease itself will not give any immunity to the individual, just like typhoid. A person can develop typhoid several times like that. Pneumococcus has 97 serotypes identified by capsular polysaccharides. In PCV, each polysaccharide is linked to or conjugated to a carrier protein to elicit a stronger, longer lasting immune response in young children. The immune response to a pure polysaccharide vaccine is typically T-cell independent, not consistently immunogenic in children younger than 2 years of age. That is why we are not proposing polysaccharide pneumococcal vaccine, that is 23-valent in children. It is reserved for adults. We require pneumococcal conjugate vaccine to give to our children. Antibody induced with polysaccharide vaccine has less functional activity as it is mostly T-cell dependent. PCV efficacy. 1 minute. PCV has been 80% efficacious in against IPD and prevented 36% of severe pneumonia in children. In high mortality African community, PCV reduced all-cause mortality by 16%. PCV safety, it is a safe vaccine. it demonstrated to be extremely safe over the past decades. Unwanted effects are mild and transient. As usually it is irritability, fever, tenderness, redness, swelling, etc. No serious adverse effects noted so. A brief history. PCV was first launched in 2000 in USA. That is 21 years ago. That was PCV 7 actually. As on 2020 June, 146 countries have introduced PCV. There is a 9-year time lag between HIC and LIC in introducing PCV. Rwanda is the first Gavi-supported country to introduce PCV in 2009. Kazakhstan is the first country in Asia to introduce PCV in 2011. From time of first WHO PQ product, PCVs have outpaced other vaccines, reaching 50% of the Gavi cohort of surviving infants in 7.2 years. The first immunization given in even India in 2017 in Himachal Pradesh. A baby girl, Ms. Anita Kumari, is being injected with PCV vaccine. When Modi came for the first term, he came out with the Make in India program. During the second term, he introduced Atmanirbhar Bharat, Be Indian, Buy Indian, and Respect Indians. There are no new 3 vaccines from India now. One is IPV that we have already introduced in our EPI program. Next is pneumococcal vaccine 10 that will be introduced shortly. And in some nearly 5 states, it's already, we have launched it long back, nearly 5 years ago. And the COVID vaccine. This is the paper cutting of today's Hindu. See, India considers reciprocal steps to UK's quarantine rules. All these countries are envying India. Actually, they thought that they can loot money from India with COVID vaccine and other pneumococcal vaccine. But due to this Atmanirbhar Bharat, we produced our own vaccine from India. We are exporting it to nearly 56 countries. New PCV10, composition, clinical profile, and clinical trial. PCV in India are PCV13, PCV10 of GSK, and PCV10 of Serum Institute. The major difference is PCV10 covers 6A and 19A, which is prevalent in India, and PCV13 also covers it, but it is very costly. 13, this is a 13-valent vaccine. When the valency increases, the efficacy diminishes. And PCV10 of GSK doesn't contain 6A and 19A. Both PCV10 and the literature only, PCV13 has substantial impacts against pneumonia, vaccine type IPV, and nasopharyngeal carrier. Insufficient evidence exists regarding difference in the net impact of the 2 PCVs on overall disease burden. PCV13 offers additional benefit in settings where disease attributable to serotype 19A and 6C is significant. In India, 6C is not much significant. Choice of the product to be used in a country should be based on the local and regional prevalence of vaccine serotypes and antimicrobial resistance pattern. Should pneumococcal serotype 3 be included in serotype specific immunoassays? The low prevalence of India, that is less than 1%. As per WHO, SAGE, the evidence does not conclude that current PCV have a consistent or substantial impact on serotype 3. Low distribution and India prevalence of serotype 4 and 18C in causing IPD. See, in India, it is nearly 0%. 4 and 18C, 1. So when we take it together, it becomes an insignificant number. For 6A, evidence indicates that PCV13 induces higher serotype 6A GMCs and a higher percentage of responders than PCV10. So WHO and IAP recommends 6A and 19A in a PCV for benefits of direct protection. For 19A, both PCV10 and PCV13 induce an antibody response against serotype 19A, although PCV13 induces higher serotype 19A GMC and a higher percentage of responders than PCV10. Reference of IAP, position on direct versus cross protection. The direct protection rendered by the serotype included in a vaccine formulation is definitely superior to any cross protection offered by the unrelated serotype, even of the same group in any PCV formulation. Pneumosil composition and the features. Pneumosil is a 10-valent PCV with the India-relevant serotypes. Serotype 15, 6A, 6B, 7F, 9V, 14, 19A, 19F, and 23F, individually conjugated using CDAP chemistry. Pneumosil is a WHO pre-qualified vaccine for procurement by UN agencies. Product description and features. This contains 2 microgram. Saccharide for serotype 6B is 4 microgram. For all others, 2 microgram. And conjugated to CRM 197 carrier protein 19 to 48 microgram. Lowest possible aluminum content is 0.125 milligram per dose as adjuvant. Shelf life for Pneumosil is 36 months under ideal conditions, that is 2 to 80 degrees Celsius. Study in progress to extend shelf life to 48 months. Comparative IPD serotypes and coverage of Pneumosil with the difference of PCV, XLST3. You can see that PCV10, comparison PCV10 and PCV13. New PCV10 also, that is second round one is Pneumosil, Serum Institute of India Private Limited. Pneumosil clinical profile. Phase 1, Phase 2. Phase 1 and 2 and Phase 2 clinical trials. Endpoint Phase 1 trial in India, 1 and 2 in Gambia, and Phase 2 in India, Pravina 13. Then safety and immunogenicity and age group and number of subjects, 34 adults and 108 toddlers. In the Phase 3 trial, actually we have to see the Phase 3 trial. After Phase 1 and Phase 2 trials, they have got enough time to modify their vaccine and improvise their product. And Phase 3 trial clinic, these are clinical trials, and Gambia, Synflorix, and Phase 3 Indian trial, Pravina 13, regarding the endpoint, that is safety and immunogenicity. Ongoing proposed clinical trials are going on. Phase 3 trials, 2+1, Pravina, and this one, the Gambia pivotal trial. Total number of subjects were 2,250. Pneumosil 1,503. And percentage of post-primary sero responders, that is IgG more than 0.35 microgram. In 6A, Pneumosil gives excellent protection, while Synflorix gives only 8.6%. And 19A also and 23F Pneumosil is better than GSK. Post-primary IgG, that is more than 0.35 microgram per ml. Here also, Pneumosil is the leader next to PCV13. Pneumosil IgG superiority, 610, 6A and 19A. We have already seen here, and difference is 73%. And 19A, 54.7% difference. In Synflorix is 0.12 and 0.29, while Pneumosil gives 1 and 1.64. Post-primary OPA 0, more than the IgG, OPA zero response rate is more important. Here also against 6A serotype and gives 97.2% protection. 92.3%. Post-primary OPA titers by treatment group also. Here also Pneumosil is superior, far superior to. Why we are comparing these two? These two are 10-valent vaccines. Post-booster OPA titers also very high. Post-booster OPA GMTs were significantly higher for pneumococcal type 6B, 7F, and 23F. The trial summary. Equivalence was demonstrated for 3 lots of Pneumosil. Lot-to-lot equivalence was confirmed based on both seroresponse rates and overall non-inferiority of the immune response to serum vaccine compared to PHIDCV vaccine. Not interfere with EPI vaccine immune response like DTP, hepatitis B, BIPV, rotavirus vaccine, and MR vaccines. Boostability was demonstrated for all 10 serotypes in both treatment groups. And significant booster responses was demonstrated for all serotypes based on OPA GMTs. Post-booster IgG GMC were higher in Pneumosil group. And safety outcomes and conclusions. There was no vaccine-related SAE in either treatment group. There were no significant differences in the rate of any category of treatment emergent adverse events. All confirmatory, primary, and secondary objectives were met. Pneumosil has been shown to meet all the requirements of licensed and pre-qualified PCV of the WHO. Annex 3. On AOM and mucosal disease. Sorry, 1 minute. The non-inferiority of serum PCV compared with PHIDCV based on these ratios, the closely aligned reverse cumulative distribution curves, the similar or higher OPA GMTs for the serotypes, as well as the robust booster responses suggest serum vaccine PCV will also affect mucosal pneumococcal diseases. This is their certification. They got in 18th December approval from WHO in 2019. The phase 3 trial in India, Pneumosil 225 infants and missing. Total number of subjects were 4. Randomized double-blind study to evaluate the immunogenicity, safety, and tolerability of Serum Institute India's 10-valent pneumococcal conjugate vaccine. Population 6 to 8 week inclusive on day 0, and vaccination schedule was 3-dose vaccination series, 6 months. 30 and Synflor is 21. Number of subject Pneumosil 225 comparing others 223. OPA percentage responders 4 weeks post dose. Percentage responders they have given it, and 4 weeks post dose 3 another study was done, and all confirmatory primary and secondary objectives were met. Pneumosil was highly immunogenic. The study data indicates comparable immunogenicity of Pneumosil to Prevnar, that is 13-valent, and Synflorix using either of the WHO defined IgG endpoints or OPA endpoints for all 10 serotypes. This demonstrates comparability of Pneumosil with both. Robust OPA results are clinically significant in light of increasing clinical importance assumed by OPA over IgG or opsonopharyngeal OPA is considered as the primary mechanism of cost difference against pneumococcal disease. The importance of OPA is increasingly evident as it is being observed to correlate well with protection offered against IPD. Pneumosil was safe and well tolerated in 3+ through 0 vaccination schedule also, with a safety and reactogenicity profile favorably comparable to both Prevnar 13 and Synflorix. ACVIP recommended immunization schedule 2020 and 2021 was the use of a Menveo vaccine in the 2 to 55 years age group. Was the use of a Typhi-Bev vaccine. Significant one approves the use of a Pneumosil till 2 years of age in 3+1 schedule with the booster administered between 12 to 18 months. They do not recommend Pneumosil after the age of 2 years, unlike this 13-valent vaccine. India announces PCV rollout in all states. I think in the Union Territory, our nearest place, Mahi, they have already started, and we will be launching it soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Santosh, for the excellent session. Dr. Santosh covered all the aspects of the PCV10, all the practical aspects. Now the session is open for discussion. I think Dr. Bala is there. Bala was the secretary of the IAP during 2019 and as well as 20. Bala, are you there for a comment? Balachandar. ബാല എപ്പോഴും അങ്ങനെയാണ്, ഇടയ്ക്ക് അവിടെ നെറ്റ് പ്രശ്നത്തില് ഔട്ടായി പോകും. കൃഷ്ണൻകുട്ടി, ഡോക്ടർ കൃഷ്ണൻകുട്ടി.
ഹലോ.
ആ പടാ കൃഷ്ണൻകുട്ടി പടാ. You are audible. You are audible.
അല്ല, ഐ ജസ്റ്റ് ഗോട്ട് ഇൻടു ഇറ്റ്. ഞാൻ ഇപ്പൊ തുറന്നിട്ടേ ഉള്ളൂ. എന്താ ഞാൻ കേട്ടില്ല.
കേട്ടില്ലല്ല, ഇപ്പഴേ കേറിയുള്ളൂ അല്ലേ?
ഇപ്പൊ കേറിയിട്ടേ ഉള്ളൂ. കാരണം ഞാൻ ബിസി വിത്ത് സമ്മർ, ഞാൻ വേറെ ചില വിഷയത്തില് ഇതാണ്.
ഓക്കെ, ഞാൻ ടോക്ക് കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു കമന്റ് പറയാനുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പറയാൻ വേണ്ടി.
ഇല്ല, ഞാൻ ജസ്റ്റ്
സർ.
Sir, actually it was an excellent talk and brief, and a lot of doubts will be there with us, and what is the advantage of, sir, some doubts I am also having.
Yeah.
See, most of the private sectors, we are promoting the Prevnar, and we always say that Prevnar is better. It's PCV 13. So how we can say in comparison with the PCV 10, any specific differences between PCV 10 and PCV 13?
PCV 13 is a bit costly, nearly double the cost of Pneumosil. Pneumosil cost 10 rupees less than 2,000. The other one 200 rupees less than 4,000. One is the cost.
Okay.
Second one, it can be administered even as booster at 1.5 years and 4.5 years. And here Pneumosil is recommended only up to 2 years. And Pneumosil is an Indian vaccine, so it is cheap. And now we have seen that it is type specific, which is good for Indian children. I don't know whether there is any other.
Sir, ഇത് വേറൊരു കാര്യമുള്ളത്, ന്യൂമോണിയ ഇതിനെപ്പറ്റി പല പാരന്റ്സും ചോദിക്കാറുണ്ട്, ഇതിന്റെ ആവശ്യമുണ്ടോ എന്ന്. Because of the cost. Of course, now it is there with the government sector, so it is not a major problem, but otherwise.
Yeah. Bennett sir, ഇപ്പം ഗവൺമെന്റ് സെക്ടറിൽ വരുന്നത് ഏതാണ്?
Pneumosil.
നിയമസിലാണ്. അതെ.
Pneumosil തന്നെയാണ്. Pneumosil.
Okay.
അപ്പോൾ അത് പ്രോബ്ലം വരത്തില്ല. Another confusion is there. Suppose if a person is sir, another confusion is there. If a person is taken vaccine of first dose, like routine vaccination of 45th day taken, and but now they know the news that pneumococcal vaccine is going to be given to the in government sector. Will they get it or not? These are all some technical problems are there. Administrative problems are there.
Interchangeability.
They may not get it.
Interchangeability of the vaccines are.
The interchangeability.
We can give. Even though he has taken 1 dose of Previnar from private sector, 1 dose we can give Pneumosil. No issues.
Any other doubt, clarification?
Mainly in our area, most of the children are from Gulf. So they might have taken 1 or 2 doses of Previnar from there, since it is universally available.
Yeah.
We used to promote Previnar 30. But now the Serum Institute vaccine is exported to 54 countries.
Yeah.
But that doesn't include UAE. That's the problem.
So it is our own vaccine.
Our own vaccine.
Yeah. But if there is no other doubts, whether we
sir,
can.
Sir, could I ask now?
Yeah. Please tell.
Sir, actually, for
introduce yourself.
Pneumococcal vaccine. Sir, I'm Dr. Priya Velagan from SS.
Priya.
IMCH. So for specific indications, when we give pneumococcal vaccine, and say like 6 months later, this child has already received 2 doses of our routine pneumococcal vaccine, then what are we expected to do? Like for sickle cell anemia, heart disease, do we have to go for the PCV 13 at that point of time, or we'll continue with this?
Dr. Santosh?
I don't have a definite idea, but if you ask me such a question, I will answer that I will complete the full course, that is 3+1 schedule for patients with sickle cell anemia, acquired or congenital asplenia, or hemoglobinopathies. They are more prone to develop pneumococcal invasive disease.
Priya?
Yes, sir. I didn't see that in the program schedule, so that is why.
Okay.
I think we have to we can continue Pneumosil.
You are there.
I have actually
I think that is mainly Indian strain. So I think it may be as equal to Previnar. I think we can replace it Pneumosil.
With the PCV 10. Yeah.
And gradually, in government sector, we have to use Pneumosil only.
Yes.
Almost all prevalent strains are covered in PCV 10 itself.
Yeah.
So it may be done.
One of my parents asked me a question: why this schedule is different in government sector? You are giving at 1.5 months, 2.5 months, 3.5 months, and 1.5 years, and 4.5 years. Now government recommends only 2 doses, 1.5 and 1.5 years. I couldn't answer. I told them that since it is a national program, we have to give maximum vaccination to maximum children. That is why we are collecting such a schedule. That was my answer. I am not sure.
Okay.
Right or wrong.
Dr. Santosh, there is a comment in the chat box. There are no labs in Kerala doing pneumococcal serotypes, and there are any recent studies showing zero prevalence of local pneumococci. There are about 100 reported pneumococcal strains, and Gambial strain may not reflect the strain seen here. It is true, the comment is true, but I also unaware about the zero prevalence of local pneumococci. Any comment on that, Dr. Santosh?
No idea. Their studies are spread all over India, and there is no specific study for Kerala local study. That we have to. Some of the PGs can take it up.
Yeah, definitely.
Very
any
good
information
idea.
on that comment?
No idea, actually.
Jagakrishna is there, I think. Jagakrishna?
Jagakrishna.
അറിയില്ല, ഞാനത് നോക്കിയില്ല.
അതാണ് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു സ്റ്റഡീസ് ഇല്ല, പക്ഷെ അത് ഒരു ഏരിയ ആണ് അല്ലെ, ശരിക്കും നമ്മൾ നോക്കേണ്ടതാണ്. ഓക്കെ, ഇഫ് ദർ ഇസ് നോ മോർ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, ഡോക്ടർ അജയ്, ഒരു അർജന്റ് കോള് വന്ന് അജയ് മറ്റേ ലീവ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. മോഹൻദാസ് ഇന്ന് എവിടെയോ പെട്ടുകിടക്കുകയാണ്, കയറിയിട്ടില്ല. അപ്പൊ ദ റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റി ടു വൈൻഡ് അപ്പ് ദ സെഷൻ ഈസ് റെസ്റ്റഡ് വിത്ത് മീ. സോ ഓൺ ബിഹാഫ് ഓഫ് IAP Kozhikode and on behalf of everybody present in this audience, I express my thanks to Dr. Santosh for an excellent session on the PCV10 vaccine. I also thank Dr. Bennett Sailam and other seniors and all my dear friends for attending this session. Thank you all. We are winding up the session now. Santosh, Dr. Santosh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Bye. I am also.
Thank you.